a little review of this then. It's a imported Daily Neaty MW01. Don't know off which one, but yeah. This is the last video I'll be doing before it goes to its new owner. This is sort of an in-between. But yeah, it was already imported in this country beforehand, and it swapped hands a few times. I've had it now for a week or so, or something like that. Done filming, stuff like that. You're going to see that, I don't know, soon on the other channel. But you got this review for now, at some point. Anyway, this is designed for, obviously, for kind of China, not for the UK. So much so that, as standard, you know, you will get this plug. And that's a Chinese plug / Australian plug with an adapter. And the adapter actually comes with it, so cool. It says a little 13 amps. There must be a 13 amp built into it somewhere. Right. Interestingly, the machine has a heater for the washer, and it's about 600 watt heater. That's actually quite good because it does heat up very quickly, since it only obviously uses a small amount of water during washing. So once it's on in sort of standby mode, you'll see that this on-off button is very faintly lit. Push it, and it turns the machine on. More about that in a second. But also, if you're wondering how to open the door, there's no unlock feature on this. You know, there's no button you press or anything like that. It's actually a sensor, and it's here. Yeah, and it opens like Darth Vader's helmet. Literally. Look how intrinsically designed that is. Look at that for a hinge. How cool is that? I'll just show you the inside. So, up there is a little drying duct. This actually is a washer dryer. We've got this little drum. Very cool. 2 little paddles. We've got a little door seal there with a little drain hole there. How cool is that? It's tiny, it's cute. Max load, 1/2 kilogram. Yeah. So, not big, but hey, it's alright for washing exactly what it's designed for. I mean, there's 4 pairs of socks. We'll probably just take them out, leave them 3 pairs in. You see, I could probably wash about 5 pairs of socks, or around 3 sets of underwear, about 5 baby clothes, so, you know, tiny baby clothes, maybe 2, I've put, or 2 tea towels and stuff like that. It's stuff like that, stuff that needs kind of heat and attention. Detergent is actually down here. It's a little cassette, so lift that up. Don't know why they're there, because they don't actually do anything. Put your fingers there, it won't do anything. Anyway, lift that up. And this is our detergent cartridge. Of course, it's empty. So, and the only way to refill it is by simply buying another one. So, since it's obviously from China, if you were to get a hold of one, it's going to cost money. That's if you can get a hold of one. I doubt you probably can. Right. So, they are. It's biological enzyme customized laundry detergent. Whatever that means. I do like that. Nice and positive. And that will dispense the right amount of liquid detergent during a cycle. There's 100 ml there, so you're probably going to get 10 washes out of that. Now, Right, so there's quite a bit going on here. We've got a choice of 5 programs. Obviously, this is our play pause. We've got timing minutes. We've got this little lock icon there. I believe that's to do with the door, actually. Yeah, that's to do with the door. This little liquid icon drop with an exclamation mark in it, that's to do with your auto dosing down here. That basically says it's empty. And then we've got will also be Wi-Fi, but obviously it's flashing because it's not connected. There must be some way to obviously connect this up, but being in Chinese, I can't work it out. Doesn't really matter anyway. Right. Also, because it's in Chinese, trying to work out what each cycle does is a little bit complicated. So, we got, it says 95 degrees wash there. Presumably it heats to 95, but I found that it really didn't actually heat to 95. Heats up hot, but because it heats up quite quick, I think it misses the mark by quite a bit. Then we got this. I think this is baby clean. Basically done, I think around 60 degrees, something like that. Then we got this, which is like a 45-minute daily wash thing. Quite odd though. You got these little like dry icons. Yeah, it's not drying. It doesn't dry. None of these cycles dry. Then I think that's deodorize. Again, I think a mix of hot heat and rinsing, but that does dry, I think, within the time. Whereas the others don't. And then you got drum clean, basically, or steam sanitize, however you want to look at it. It looks like steam sanitize. It's not. It's just drum clean. Quite efficient at how it does it. It seems to fill up with water while spinning, then it will fill up in water, heat to 95, then drain, and then rinse about 3 or 4 times or something like that. With quite a high water level. Right, so that's that. I'm going to turn it around. Let's turn it around. Have a look at the back. So, this is the back. Now, strangely, you don't have a water connection on this. You have a water tank, which can be removed to fill up. We've got a min line there, and then a max fill line in there. Now I fill it to max, and then you're left over with this little bit of water. If you fill it to minimum, you do risk chance of it just running out. So never mind. There's a bit more going on as well around here. So, NW1C, I think that's the model number for this. QR code there. There's a QR code there as well. I presume these take you to different sites. Don't know, because my phone QR code reader doesn't work. Then there's this. It's just a steam vent for the machine, basically. It's supposed to twist off. It will do. It'll kind of unclip and you can clean it. But that's the handle. It's just cheap and nasty. There's quite a fair bit of serviceability about this as well. You've got all these screws and these 2 covers here that also come off, so you can service it. Not bad, I suppose. Then down here we've got obviously our mains. That's our waste hose. It just slides on and off. And then you've got this, which is your little filter. Yeah. So, but it picks up everything. It's a micro mesh filter, so it picks up fluff as well. So you do have to empty it every now and then. Right, I'll do a demonstration of a wash. Now, normally you'll take this to the sink, fill it up, etc., and do it that way. But, well, we can just do it this way. So what I've also found is that the machine will use basically the same amount of tank every single wash, regardless of whatever it's washing. It doesn't seem to be affected by how much laundry it's washing. Right, a nice stable surface. Now, you might be saying, well, how are you supposed to see it? When you press start, a little blue light will come on, almost like a blue UV light, and you can actually see into the drum as it's washing. So, what I'm going to have to do is make this all dark, effectively. I'm going to use a sheet to try and drown out some of the light, otherwise it will reflect. Can you see there? This light here, this window? The window is here, the window light's there. Obviously then we've got the light I'm recording this off, there, bouncing off it. Another light bounces off it, so I need to do this in the dark as much as possible. I'm going to use... I'll get a sheet and then put it over. Right, another thing to mention. I mentioned about the drying, so it's got something weird about it. This one will have drying on it, but these three don't, except they do. What will happen is if you don't open the machine within about half an hour of it finishing, it will automatically then start drying, weirdly. In sort of periods, it's really weird. But because this isn't actually a condenser or anything, all that machine is doing is just blowing hot air in. Now, the dryer is about 250 watts when it turns it on for the heater. And what it does is blow air through onto there. Right? And it will very slowly dry them. So, something like this, after it's finished after half an hour, will take around about 2 hours, or maybe about 2 to 3 hours to dry something like all these socks. Right. I'm going to demonstrate using this cycle here, which it normally always defaults to. Bold. There we go. Resume. Right, so it's been about 5 and a bit hours since we started it. Yeah, it's still a bit wet. Warm and wet. So it's been drying for what, maybe around 3 hours on and off. I'd say it'd probably need another couple of hours in there. Bear in mind that the heater's tiny, so even though like it's on for a long time, the motor, as daft it seems, the energy consumption of this under normal washing is about 11 or 12 watts. It's something ridiculously small like that. So having that tiny motor going round doesn't really consume any energy at all. I wouldn't say they're particularly clean though. So what to give the little Daily Neaty out of 10 now? Well, it's tiny. It is very, very tiny. I forgot to mention the whole idea of the fact that it's only 27 centimetres wide, 39 centimetres tall and 45 centimetres deep. Great. But it's a little bit of a compromise, especially when it comes to the drying side of things. It does seem to want to use quite a bit of detergent. You've got 15ml of bold and the socks aren't clean. Weird. That's a lot of bold for a tiny amount. You could put in obviously 75ml and wash 20 times the amount of socks. It doesn't make any sense in that sense. But, of course, you're supposed to actually use it with the liquid down here. But we've run out, and then getting hold of it. And that's the biggest problem with something like this. Because you're relying on that liquid cartridge all the time, if you can't get hold of one, you're subjected to whatever the costs are to get another cartridge. That's by the by. Drying wise as well, because it just basically blows hot air. If you've got something like what I've just had in, like that, in, okay, over time they will dry evenly. But if you've got, say, two tea towels in, for example, because they're quite bulky in that sense of how much drum room they take up, because the air doesn't go round, it just kind of blows on it. It dries one side and not the other, and then will subsequently, because there's no on-off, it doesn't switch itself off after any given time whatsoever, it will then just start to bake them anyway. It's annoying in that sense. Yeah, so it's not great as a washer-dryer. It's alright as a washer, I suppose. Just needs a bit more detergent than you'd probably think when you're doing stuff, which is a little bit annoying, but there you go. You can wash an odd t-shirt, an odd shirt, whatever in it, if you want. But of course, like everything made in China, we don't know how reliable it's going to be. It seems to be pretty well built, don't get me wrong. A lot of these Chinese machines are very well built. Reliable? Not sure. Definitely well built. That's the strange thing about them. But then they cost a lot of money too. And yeah, it's a bit naff really, in that sense. Great as a little toy. I suppose it makes sense over in China or some of these countries where because it's primarily there to wash stuff that needs hygiene, like underwear, like baby clothes, like dishcloths and stuff like that, efficiently, and that's what this does. Whereas obviously everything else would tend to be washed in cold water in a top loader or a twin tub or something like that, where you've only got a cold feed. Yeah. So it's one of them. It makes sense maybe over in them countries, but not necessarily over here. But it wasn't ever really designed and sold over here. It was just imported over here, and that's the difference, really. Would it make sense over there? Out of 10, maybe, but realistically over here, it's like only like, say, a 3 out of 10. It makes no sense, really. Over there, probably like a 7, 6 or 7. But like, even basis on the drier side of things, it's really, really poor. Especially because there is a dryer side and you've got no way to set a time for the dryer or sensor dry of the dryer. So it just dries and dries and dries, which is really annoying. The one cool thing I do like about it is, of course, you don't need a water connection for the machine. You just fill the tank and off you go. And that does make sense in you know, that whole sense of you're not having to get an adapter for your plumbing or your kitchen tap or anything like that. You can just have it sat on the side in the kitchen or in the bathroom. Let's say you could put it by the shower, let's say, in the bath, and then you could just drain it away and stuff like that. And yeah, right. I thought I'd just show you this as well. And that is since we are disconnecting it. So there's our water tank. So let's have a look. Right. So I'd normally put something like a little catch cloth underneath. I'd put something. So let's just do this. So I'm gonna just do that. And we're just gonna have a look at the filter. You'll never see this on a separate video, it's just there. So yeah, look at that. So I emptied that myself before I started using it, and 7 cycles later and we've got all that. This really does capture every bit of fluff going. It's quite efficient. But just a reminder, you will have to empty this after, you know, we're on, what, cycle 7 there. That's quite a lot. It's still going. You can still probably fit a bit more in. Alright, so all we've got to do that. Just empty it into the bin. Where you go. You might want to scrape it in with something, but yeah, just empty it straight in the bin. Put it back. And there we go. Cool. I enjoyed the review. Oh, don't forget to give me a comment down below what you like about the machine, or maybe what you don't like about the machine. And remember, I'll see you guys in another video, so bye for now.